Both.
Are you enjoying your back-to-back Fan Expo weekends?
I know. It feels like one continuous Fan Expo.
No. We were in Chicago last week, and it's great to be here in Toronto.
The next journey for Vicky?
I actually know absolutely nothing. They're working on the first episode and staffing the writers' room right now.
That's not true. You know you have the script for the first episode.
Thanks, I was going to tease it.
How do you tease it? I don't want to teach you how to do this.
It's a very interwoven story with the characters in Fire Country, which is kind of cool. I have a daughter, and I am enmeshed in this sort of like political drama that's happening in the town, having to do with illegal marijuana growth, which is my dad got arrested for. It's a very sort of dramatic, very cool world, and then there's some politics in me becoming sheriff that we'll be dealing with as well. So it'll be fun. And very, very soapy and not procedural, which is what I like.
Very nice. Are you filming it this year or next year?
We're starting to film either May or June of next year.
Very nice.
So you'll have to wait a while for it.
Yeah, excellent. You're not off the hook for teasing things. I wanted to ask you about Motor City. That cast is just like absolutely stacked, but what can you tease about that? I think you guys just wrapped here recently.
Yeah, we just wrapped. It's a 70s action movie set in Detroit, hence Motor City. Very cool. A lot of great people in it, and I play a cop, so big departure from that. The difference was I got to have sideburns because it's the 70s.
In a tan suit.
In a tan suit. Yeah, super fun, and I mean, I don't know if this is like official yet, but a very famous musician might be doing the music who's from Detroit. You can probably figure out that.
Interesting.
So yeah, super fun.
Nice. Well, now I think we can turn things over to the fans, because I know a lot of people have questions. We have a microphone right here, and somebody already waiting to ask questions. So be sure to introduce yourself, be polite with your questions, and let's get people lining up for questions.
Hello, is this on?
Yeah.
Yes, my name is James. I'm from Ottawa. My question is specifically for Morena. I was a big fan of the V revival, so I was just wondering if you've got any behind-the-scenes stories or anecdotes that you can share today.
Man, you're bringing it back. Behind-the-scenes stories. I had to learn like 8 different languages, I think, for that one. That was a little tricky. I'm sure whoever speaks those languages that I spoke in the pilot will know I've butchered every single bit of it. It was very, very hard to do, but really fun. It's so much of a story, Sarah. I'm drawing a blank on stories for that.
Which was the hardest of the languages to work on?
I had to learn, let's see, I'm trying to remember. It was Portuguese I already spoke, which I thought was easy. I did Italian and French, which I could sort of like the Romance languages, I could figure my way around. And then I had to do Arabic, I believe, and that was really tough. The sounds were, and Russian, the sounds were unlike anything that I had done before. Or maybe Russian was for Endgame, I can't remember now. Russian was for Endgame. I learned a whole scene in Russian. That was cool. Sorry, I'm sure. It was fun.
Thank you so much for your question. All right, next up.
Hi, my name is Vegeta. I have a question for each of you. For Morena, do you look at the future of Deadpool and see yourself continuing to be a part of that universe if they continue the story there? Or do you kind of see that as kind of your send-off with your story kind of completing itself? And for Ben, we didn't see the iconic mustache for a very long time in Gotham. Was that a concerted effort, or did you just not want to grow a mustache?
Well, let's start with the more important question. Yeah, I was actually kind of pissed with the mustache situation, which was, so, I don't know if you're aware of this.
I remember this mustache.
To actually grow a mustache, it does not happen overnight. It takes time. Television shows shoot very quickly, and we were in the present was a long conversation, and ultimately I relented and did it because I felt like it was right to set it off the show and for the fans and for everybody. I felt like it was the right move, but it kind of pissed me off that I couldn't grow my mustache. I would like to revisit the character at some point down the road. Yeah. I've never said that before, or I mean, I've thought it, but I don't know that I've ever articulated it. I would actually like to revisit him, at a little later chapter in his life, and I think the mustache would be appropriate. I think the mustache on a 20-year-old guy who's a rookie cop kind of sends the wrong message. A little bit older, I think you can pull it off, so I'll grow into the mustache.
I would love to see my character story continue. I don't feel like it was a proper wrap-up or a send-off. It would be lovely.
I think that the nature of the relationship between Wade and Vanessa is
Sort of ongoing and jagged and not a straight line. And so it'd be really interesting to see where we go next.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Okay, I have a question for the both of you. How do you navigate, like throughout Gotham, Lee and Jim have a very turbulent relationship, kind of like on and off, but how do you navigate that and reconcile it with, I guess, this going home and being an actual couple?
I don't remember it being that big, the challenge. Couldn't leave our characters at home, or on set. I think at the time, it's hard to remember now, it's been a few years, but I feel like we were getting to know each other as we were figuring the show out, so I remember it very fondly.
Yeah, it wasn't that hard. I mean, easy part was being at home, the hard part was actually working.
Right.
And we worked at the same time, so we had, kids to sort of wrangle and people to watch them. And then as the seasons went on, it actually got kind of easier because our characters weren't together, so we sort of alternated at work. It was kind of great. It was a really nice time to, obviously a lot happened in our personal lives during that time, but also it was a family at work and then a family at home. It was like a very nice period of time where we were in this little cocoon, in this little universe together, and we could really talk to each other about work and knew the same people, and it was something really nice about that.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you so much.
What your guys' favorite moments were when filming Gotham?
I'm not going to say meeting you. Let's see, favorite moments. I remember very distinctly filming with Robin, who played the Penguin. In the pilot, there's a scene at the pier where I'm pretending to sort of throw him out. I am going to throw him off the pier, but I'm actually giving him a get out of jail free card by pretending to shoot him. It's this really intense monologue and intense scene, and it just happened to be raining that day, just in the perfect sort of awful New York rain, this gloom, and we kept going over and over and over again, as you do in a pilot when you have too much time on your hands and you've got to spend all this money. And I kept grabbing him, and I had never really worked with Robin. We just started working together, obviously, and he's so sweet, so kind, such the opposite of the Penguin character. I was grabbing him really, really roughly by the lapel, and I kept telling me to do it harder, and then after 3 hours, he goes, "Can you not grab quite as hard? I'm getting these bruises." Sure enough, it was all red, and it was so horrible. And then I shoved him into the river. But I remember things like that, and sort of feeling like I grew up loving Batman as a kid, and to be an adult and to be on the set, but it actually wasn't a set. It was the docks in Brooklyn, and staring at the Manhattan skyline and film his job, I can imagine.
I have a lot of memories like that, of like being under the Brooklyn Bridge on the scene we did. It was like, it had started snowing suddenly. It was like so gorgeous. It's nighttime. And, every dirty alley
we could find, we shot in, and the rooftops, and, you know, it was a very kind of iconic.
Yeah, I remember there was a scene where we were like walking and it was like a date scene or something.
Yeah.
And it was snowing, just like perfectly. Just like the stuff that they would spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to make look real was real. And it was, you know, it's beautiful. It's like the, you know, Gotham is kind of like the, what Bruno described it as, it's like the land of the imagination or dreams of a small child and the nightmares of an old man. So you've got these like beautiful images and this beautiful iconic buildings and sets and characters and costumes, and just a little bit of danger looking around the corner.
This was such a great answer.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Gotham, and you played Jabora. Could you please say GCPD open up in your Jabora, please?
GCPD, open up.
So my name's Demetra. Welcome to Toronto.
I have a question to ask both of you specifically. I want to start off with Ben.
Okay.
If you were to play any character in the Marvel Universe, who would it be and why?
No, I don't mean a bad question. I just don't know how to answer that question. I don't know.
Because I can kind of see you going for like, I want to say kind of like Captain America roughly.
Okay. All right. Yeah, like a smaller Captain. Almost like little Captain America. What's that?
I feel like kind of like the looks for Captain America.
Thank you, exactly. Just not the height, but the looks. Chris Evans, next guy, 6 inches taller. Thank you. Yes, I like to think that I embody that sort of like.
Also, welcome to
Strong
Toronto.
vaguely handsome. That's me.
Let me ask my question.
Yeah.
Did you actually wear a casket to high school?
I swear to God I did. I bought a pleather catsuit, and we did a play in high school. I went to Performing Arts High School, LaGuardia, and we did a play called The Marriage of Beth and Boo, which is a Christopher Durang play that has absolutely nothing to do with Catwoman, and I wore it in that play because I loved it so much. And I would just wear it to school because I had rehearsal later, and I was like, I don't care, I'm wearing a catsuit today.
Also, if either of you were to take something off the sets of any movies or TV shows you've worked on, what would you take if it was offered to you?
I think this is like 5 questions.
There were some props in Gotham that didn't find their way into my.
Into our kids' closets.
Exactly. And a few suits.
Would the GCPD vest be one of them?
Yes.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Matthew, I'm kind of writing my own thing right now. Modeled a little bit like Gotham or The Wire, maybe a little bit of The Shield. I know a lot of people probably noticed that Montoya, Allen, and Grant all just kind of disappeared from the show. So my question is, how difficult is it to maintain certain characters' presence, and or at least give them a good excuse why they're not around?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, as you noticed, like, I think the original intention of the show, from Bruno's perspective, my perspective certainly, was to, and Danny Cannon, who was another executive producer and director on the show, was to create not a procedural, like, villain of the week, but a real serialized show with that type of character. We started to do that, and then we got sort of like pushed in a certain direction to make it more case of the week, but we were really building on the comics like Gotham Central to really inform us. So we tried to bring those characters back, but it was challenging. Yeah. unfortunately, sometimes it's like you try it out, and then the powers that be, the executives, whoever, are like, we don't like that. And you're like, okay, I guess we're gonna do something else now. Yeah, you don't have a lot of power in the situation, but I thought they did a great job. Those scenes are still some of my favorite scenes in the show. Scenes with Chris Pascal and Montoya.
Excellent. All right, we're going to move on to the next question.
Season, especially reading comics, normalize that for a lot of people like me who read comics, so thank you for that. My question is more about the character that you played. I remember watching the show, the pilot especially, and onward, and I always felt like Ryan, coming from a different place or background, he could have had maybe a different perspective to bring to this entire setting of wealth and luxury that he didn't grow up in. And I felt as the series moved on, obviously, he integrates more, he assimilates more, a sense of humor sort of, develops. Was that something as an actor, did you have conflicts with that? Did you feel like maybe he could have brought more to the show in terms of the dramatic turn? Because the performance in the pilot is very different and you're great in all of it. But I always felt like that was something that the show could have tapped into more. I wonder if you have feelings about that.
Yeah, that's a good question. Well said, well articulated. As best I can remember, it was 20 years ago. It was very, very green when we started out. I really barely got to the camera at all, so I was really kind of like a deer in headlights in terms of trying to figure out what was going on. I think that worked for the character. And I really appreciated the heart. I thought like we really kind of did a good job of kind of understanding, like, I think like a lot of people responded to the show in part because they saw in the Coens this like the family that everyone wants to have, right? The father and the mother and the brother, best friend, whatever, Seth character. And I think we kind of, we ran through a lot of story very quickly and the characters progressed. I would have liked to have seen in the last season a little bit of more coming back to kind of what started us. But that being said, the characters allowed to see a lot of growth and a lot of change, and it'd be interesting to revisit those characters too later. I mean, I've talked to Josh about that and have about that a little bit. Nothing's happening right now that I know of, but it would be kind of interesting. I do think it serves a valuable purpose to show male friendship, which I didn't see a lot on television. It's not something people are maybe ashamed of or whatever, and to see these two completely opposite guys, young kids, like getting along, I think really serves a valuable purpose. So thank you for that. That's a great question.
You grew up loving Moby. I was just wondering if either of you ever auditioned for those roles specifically, or if you ever wanted to.
For Catwoman or what was the other one? Batman. Oh, Batman.
I've played Batman. Batman Year One.
And then live action.
You're committed and committable. There's been a lot of Catwoman movies, and nobody's ever called me. It's weird.
You would be a fantastic Catwoman.
I feel like that was the perfect way to wrap up.